Today, I have the privilege of chatting with Ahmad, who went through a life-saving heart transplant surgery during the pandemic. Just 17 years old, Ahmad has shown resilience in overcoming numerous obstacles, including a leg amputation in his journey with CHD.
I'm very proud of myself. I mean, if you asked me a year ago even that I would have done anything that I've mentioned in this talk, I mean, tell me about miracles and I wouldn't believe that this is something that would even get close to it.
Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge that we're recording on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, otherwise known as Warang. We acknowledge the traditional owners and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We pass that respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander listeners.
All right, Ahmad, thank you so much for joining us. I guess, where are you dialing in from?
From my home, from my room.
Oh, nice. Where's your home?
Up in Greenacre.
Greenacre, where's that?
You know, Bankstown area?
Yeah, I do. Oh, cool. Yeah. There you go. Look at that. Nice. Beautiful. Oh, look, I guess HeartKids podcast. So tell me a little bit about your heart and your journey.
Yeah, so basically when I turned 13, I kind of just started losing my voice. And we met with a few ENTs and we were directed to speech therapy. And once that wasn't working, our ENT actually suggested to do a vocal cord surgery. Once we did the vocal cord surgery, I actually suffered a cardiac arrest on the day. So after the cardiac arrest, it just kind of kept going downhill. And I developed this thing called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and that's what led to my heart conditions, and that's what led me to a heart transplant.
Tell me a little bit about, so I know that the transplant happened during COVID. What was that process like, trying to access that?
Well, actually, when I first had my heart transplant, I was asleep in a coma, so I didn't really get told until a few days after I woke up, because well, I guess my mum just was like, ABC happened, and I just had to live with, now I have a heart transplant and an amputation, and that the doctors have diagnosed me with muscular dystrophy, which they suggested that's what caused the cardiac arrest and why my vocal cords just broke into a whisper.
What was it like, I suppose, waking up and getting all of that information? How did you process all of that?
It was difficult at the start. I mean, just a perfectly healthy kid just went in for a vocal cord surgery, and all of a sudden, in his coma, he wakes up with these memories that he's not sure whether they were real, whether they were fake, whether they were just in the coma, in the dream. And just to wake up and because at the time when I woke up, I actually had no movement in any of my muscles. So it was kind of just like, imagine yourself just laying down on your bed and only being able to move your head. That's how it felt. So I guess I couldn't really know that I had an amputation until I tried to lift my head. But I never could know that I had a heart transplant until someone told me, which, I mean, it was difficult at the start to know that I've just gone from a perfectly healthy kid living a normal life to now having all of these different types of complications from this surgery.
Yeah. What was it like, I suppose, in the recovery process? And I suppose, how did you adapt to a new lifestyle?
Well, it was definitely hard. I mean, honestly, I'm still trying to adapt to it today, and it's already about 2 years past everything that happened. But I guess it was really difficult because, like, knowing that you're an amputee, not knowing if you're ever going to walk again just fills your head when you first know. And I guess that did fill my head, but at first it was just recovering my nerves and recovering my body to now start getting feeling back in my hand, back in my foot, and just try to like get up and moving on my own again from the start of waking up. And through that process, I guess I went through a lot of physios that helped me and a lot of OTs that helped me from Westmead, and it was difficult, but we got there.
What's it been like? Also, Westmead represent, we love.
Yes, we do.
Yes. I suppose in terms of that process and having a support system, you mentioned like your mum telling you everything that happened and the physios. What were the support networks that you had and that you kind of leaned on in the last 2 years?
Well, I mean, the last 2 years, I mean, I got to give it to everyone at Westmead that helped me. For example, the physios that was there, Amy that's there, I'll probably tune in. She is definitely the one that carried me through walking, through my just getting me back to walking with a prosthetic and doing all of this stuff. And the OTs out there like Jamie and Michelle in Westmead, they really helped me getting my nerves back in my hands, in my feet. Even the allied health assistants there, which helped the OTs to get me moving again. Damien and oh no, I forgot the other one. Oh no, please don't kill me.
Right.
But yeah, but also just after like leaving the hospital after that 5 months, I gotta give it to the cardiac team helping me with my heart. And all of them there, like all the people up in Westmead, they're really awesome. And the trapeze team that I've now recently been in contact with, they're now going to help me in the future with transitioning to St. Vincent's for my heart treatment. So, I mean, and oh my God, I forgot, and I'm leaving this to the end. I mean, save the best to last, but also got to give it to my mother and my family. I mean, in COVID times, I could only see my mum. I couldn't see anyone else in my family. And that just stayed there for about 2 months. I couldn't see anyone because, well, firstly, I wasn't in condition to see anyone, but I also just, it was only me and my mum due to the COVID restrictions. And I mean, that really did take a toll on my mental health. But I mean, if it wasn't for my mum at those times, I don't know what mental state I'd be in. And especially that I think mum spent about 55 days in the hotel in Westmead. So she didn't leave Westmead during that time, which must have been devastating for her. I mean, yeah.
What was it like for you, I suppose, in that period as well? With, all the grief that you're going through and the frustration and all the sadness. And I guess, how did you build, that mental resilience to keep giving the crack and to keep going?
To be honest, I mean, the nurses could tell you I was very resilient and always wanting to just do what's best for me. And I mean, again, if it wasn't for my mum there by my side every day, I'm not sure where I would be. But I also got to give it to her and just, or even all the nurses that were there at that time, especially in ICU and Edgar Stevens, like those nurses that helped me there will honestly be the superheroes that don't get talked about. I mean, nurses and doctors and all that in any hospital never get talked about it. And honestly, they're real life superheroes, especially Dr. Orr. She was the one that did the heart transplant, and Dr. Nichols. I mean, they're real life superheroes. I mean, I feel like I owe them and Westmead everything that I can give. And that's just there in the back of my mind. That's always there, just always willing to help. They did that for me, and that's kind of like what I want to do it for them.
Yeah, I think that's it. I guess 2 years from, that experience to now, how is your life now? What do things look like for you? What's a typical day? Like, how is your body now?
Oh, a typical day is very, very busy for me now. I am a Year 12 student finishing my HSC, but also I got to deal with the fortnightly physio appointments on a Monday, Macquarie, and I do EP twice a week. So that's exercise physiology at my local gym, World Gym Chilora. So, I mean, I guess that it can get hard sometimes, but I always just look to the people around me, again, like my mum, like my family, and I just realized that I'm not only doing this for myself, but I'm also doing this for the people around me, and I'm also just trying to inspire people around me. I mean, I'll get people when I'm at the gym just come up to me and say, "You're a true inspiration," and honestly, just keep going, man. And that's what I look up to. Just anyone that just wants to come up to me or even message me and just say something nice, always put a smile on my face. And that's honestly what I just live to do. I love seeing that.
I love that. I love that. I saw this thing on TikTok the other day that was like, this woman was like, if you think a compliment, don't keep it to yourself, like pass it on to someone. I think that's so true, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't want to keep that stuff to yourself. You want to tell people.
You always want to spread positivity to everyone, make sure that everyone's feeling good.
100%.
Make sure everyone's okay.
Look, I have such an aversion to sport, but I'm so impressed how much you love sport. Tell me a little bit about, I know that you have a particular love for AFL. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing with AFL.
Well, look, I'm going to go off track and say that I'm not a big AFL fan. I'm more of an NRL fan. But if you look at the wheelchair NRL, due to the wheelchair AFL, I mean, the wheelchair NRL is more rough than the NRL itself. And I think my mum would never let me play wheelchair NRL, so I've kind of picked AFL as something that I could do. Because look, yeah, honestly, it took me a long time to actually get into wheelchair sports. And fun fact, the first thing I actually said when I saw my leg, I was actually like to my mum, "Will I ever be able to kick a footy again?" Because before everything, like under 7s to 11s, I used to play for the Bankstown Bulls. I used to play NRL, so that just kind of gave me that sporting freedom, just sports with freedom. And like, I am a massive Bulldogs fan,
I was
and I'm
gonna
sure
ask. I was
anyone
like, are you Bulldogs?
anyone who knows me definitely knows how passionate I am for the Bulldogs. And I mean, it was really shocking over the weekend, but yeah, don't worry, for the
Oh, that's
Rabbitohs
right.
this week. And
Look, I won't lie to you, I'm a Bunnies supporter,
oh
so
no,
yeah.
oh maybe we can't do this podcast anymore.
That's it. We better shut this down.
But yeah, but like Wood AFL, I actually made it to the Nationals in Wood AFL last year, so that was a massive accomplishment, and that I think that will actually just give me motivation to keep playing wheelchair sports. And I mean, nationals are coming up in November, and look out on KO to see me there. I mean, it should be streamed on KO Freebie, so you don't have to have an account to sign up. Just look up there, and you might see me up there. So look out for the NSW Rolling Rams.
Yeah, I love that. In terms of like sport and like, do you find what is it about sport that you love? Like, is it the community? Like, what is it that keeps you rocking up to it?
Yeah, it is definitely a community, but it's also the passion that I have. I mean, I'm a very big sports fan. Like, I only watch NRL, I watch tennis, and I watch a lot of different sports. So, I mean, I have a lot of free time, but it's getting cut down with now finishing school that I'm focusing more on school. But look, when I get to try out for this AFL team, hopefully I can make it. But I mean, the community is just great. I mean, everyone around there is just great. Like wheelchair sports and just the NSW and ACT like company here is just awesome. I mean, they have this junior wheelies camp that I go to sometimes. I mean, you can't put it to words. They're all beautiful. They all just want to help. And they all just want to give kids in a wheelchair a chance to just feel sport again. That's what I think, like, that's where I think it all starts for people who want to get into a wheelchair sports team.
Yeah, 100%. And look, speaking about, obviously inspirational people, you've been awarded for being inspirational. What is it? Inspirational award at the Canterbury Bankstown Children's and Youth Awards. What happened there? Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, my mum nominated me to that award, and I made it into there was top 5, and I made it into this. We kind of got invited down, and well, they called us like the 5 people for this award to come up, and then they announced it. So, I mean, it was honestly just amazing to be there in general, and then just to be on stage and then to call out my name and say that I won this award is awesome. And especially, it didn't even stop there. After I got this award, after they told a bit about my story, I just strangers come up to me and saying I'm a true inspiration. I mean, back to what I was saying, that put a smile on my face. I mean, that's just something that I want to continue doing. Just be an inspiration in the community.
100%. I suppose as well, like going through all of this in COVID, like being isolated, whereas now, you're out in community, you'd like get and have these conversations with people. Like that would feel so nice to kind of have that connection.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. Look, in terms of, I suppose, I know that you mentioned before, moving from Westmead to St. Vincent's and I guess the transition of care. I always find, the process to become independent in your healthcare is really stressful. Where are you at in your process and kind of what's it been like to kind of step up and, take a lot of charge and self-determination over your medical care?
Well, in terms of medical care, I'm not definitely independent yet. I mean, my mom still helps me with a lot of stuff. I mean, she says I need my own secretary. I mean, due to all the appointments that I have, she's not wrong. I mean, I really do. And honestly, I can't even keep up on my appointments anymore. Like, I mean, it's slowed down definitely a lot since hospital. I mean, it used to be fortnightly to go for heart center and a lot of other appointments that I won't get into, but it's just a lot for someone at this age. But I guess that I just keep going, and I mean, now with the trapeze team that I'm like, they're gonna help me be more independent. I mean, if I want to be more independent, I do need to start driving, and my mum's ushering me on that. So hopefully we can get that started over the holidays. After HSC, I'm really pushing this out because I don't want to drive, but I know I need to. But I think definitely when I start driving, that'll secure more independence, and that'll definitely make me more independent.
Yeah, 100%. And in terms of like medical appointments and things like that, like, do you get nervous for appointments? How do you feel going into them? Do you feel comfortable now?
Yeah, I definitely feel comfortable now. I mean, at first, if you ask me, yes, definitely feels cautious to go in there. But I mean, I did spend 5 months in the hospital with actually most of the doctors that I'll have appointments with. So I guess it's just kind of like, I know it's weird to say, but I guess with me, like me and the nurses there, we're kind of just like family and all the doctors there. So I guess that, I mean, 5 months does tend to build a family. So like those 5 months really brought me and a lot of different facilities there at Westmead together. And I mean, I am truly a miracle there. So
I guess like, I think it's an interesting space to kind of be in when you're young and kind of going through this stuff where, kids your age just don't have to think about this kind of stuff. But I guess for people who are walking maybe a similar journey to you, or, have their own things in life that they're kind of struggling with, what is your advice, or what are the things that kind of pushed you through that you would recommend?
well, look, I know that life might throw you some curveballs, or life might just throw you down a ditch and want you to get up by yourself. Look, in these times, I think you just need to stay calm, be positive, and just think that there is something at the end of the tunnel. Like when I was in hospital, I'd always see something like light at the end of the tunnel, and I know that if I just keep pushing myself, keep going, I will get there. And I feel like that sometimes that's a good mindset to have. I mean, I know it can be difficult, and I know it might not work for everyone, but if you're positive and you have a good relationship with your family and just good relationships with everyone, I mean, like friends and family, that's honestly mostly what you need. And me, I'm a very religious Muslim. Like me with my religion, I feel really connected. So I guess that also plays a factor. So if you are religious and if you are capable to be more religious with your religion, and that's honestly the best part to get through these times. I mean, like me with my religion, it just brings me closer to God during these times.
Yeah, strengthened your faith.
Yeah.
I guess looking at where you are now and then looking back on the last 2 years, I guess, are you proud of yourself? Like, how do you feel about that journey?
I'm very proud of myself. I mean, if you asked me a year ago even that I would have done anything that I've mentioned in this talk, I mean, I would say you're joking. I mean, I wouldn't believe it. I mean, from just trying wheelchair sports to making a national team at a national level and playing against an adult comp, like I'm the youngest bloke that was there, and winning a youth award for inspiration. I mean, tell me about miracles and I wouldn't believe that this is something that would even get close to it.
Now, look, you got HSC coming at you. What are your plans post HSC? What's on the horizon? What are you working towards?
Look, as I said before, I feel like all roads lead to Westmead, and I want to do something in Westmead. And if I can get it, I want to do pharmacy for Westmead because I feel like it could help people in my situation. I mean, I know it might not help a lot, but having a good connection with people and knowing that these people can have some, like, I can relate to them, and I feel like that's what some people need, is just for people to relate to them, know what they're going through, and just to help them out in that sense. I feel like that's where I want to go.
Yeah, 100%. I think that lived experience is like the most valuable thing that you can have and you can bring to people when they're in that state where they're vulnerable and they're not sure. But to be somebody who knows it and to tell them it's going to be all right, big things,
Yep.
big things.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, look, they are all of my questions. Is there anything else that you want to add or do you want to note?
Not really. I mean, to shout out the wheelchair AFL comp that might or hopefully it happens towards the end of November. Look out on KO for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
KO Sports, is that it?
Yeah, KO Sports.
All over it.
So you boys and girls can go look at it and just stay tuned. It's probably more so towards the end of November, but we'll see if I can make it there. Look out for the Rolling Rams.
That's it.
Sometimes this podcast deals with some heavy things. If this brings up anything for you or somebody that you love, it's important to reach out for help. The HeartKids helpline provides support and guidance for anyone impacted by congenital or childhood heart disease. You can call the helpline on 1800 432 785. To access more information about childhood heart disease as well as support from HeartKids, visit the website at heartkids.org.au. The information on this podcast is not a substitute for medical advice from your doctor or healthcare team. Always talk to your doctor about matters that affect your or your family's health.